Hi everyone, Dawn White with PennLive here. As you can see, this is an MRI of the thoracic spine, and there is a tumor right there at T9. And this MRI, which was taken in 2015, belongs to that of Mechanicsburg Borough Police Chief Margaret Myers. So tell me a little bit about your story.
In 2014, I started to experience some problems with my feet. Went to various doctors trying to find out what was going on. Was unable to really get any answers. One day in June of 2015, I became paralyzed from the waist down. Could not pick my feet up off the bed. Um, was taken by ambulance to West Shore Hospital, where that MRI found the um, tumor that had gone from my brain down into the spinal canal, lodged in the spinal canal against some nerves, and then grew for, they figure, somewhere around 2 years, until it finally smashed my spinal cord and I couldn't move anything from the waist down. Surgery removed it. I was able to then get into a inpatient rehab hospital where I spent 28 days, and then did some outpatient, and I was able to come back to work in November of 2015, and just about maybe a week or so later, my boss left, and I was promoted to acting chief of police. While in the hospital, I was told that the condition that I had was rare, and that likely I would be leaving that facility in a wheelchair and never walking again. Um, I was determined that that wasn't going to happen, that I was going to walk out of there, and I was going to come back to work. And I was able to do both.
And you said the therapist called you a medical miracle. What do you think accounts for your recovery?
I think that a lot of it has to do with just paying attention to what the therapists were having me do, no matter whether I thought I was actually going to be able to accomplish it or not, or whether I understood what it was they were asking me to do. Some of the exercises were a little odd, but they all built one upon the other, which I later found out, to the point where I am where I am today.
And you went to a lot of different specialists and received diagnoses that were not correct. So, what would your message be to people who feel like something's wrong, but they're not getting answers?
They just have to keep looking. Unfortunately, my search took probably a year, and actually, the only way they really found out what was going on was this tumor finally got big enough that it smashed the spinal cord. So you just have to keep looking. You know there's something wrong. Just keep telling them, and hopefully it'll end up coming out in a good way.
And what do most people say to you because you're walking around, you look like you're fine, to hear that 3.5 years ago that you were paralyzed from the waist down?
Not a whole lot of people were really aware. I'm a very private individual, so it's out there, but it wasn't really out there. A lot the people that know, they can barely tell now that anything was wrong. You were able to tell before, but I still have a few residual problems, but nothing that is keeping me down.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Chief, for talking about your story. And more on your story will be attached to an article on PennLive.com, the Patriot News.